I've decided to do my debunking myths assignment on testing. Now, testing is a big thing. Every school does it. Most school districts do it all the time. Some do it minimal, some do it a lot. But for me specifically, knowing that where I'm coming from, where I work at in my educational environment currently, is a major reason behind why I'm picking testing. Because I'm in a school district which has had numerous issues with being accredited. Currently, the middle school I'm in now hasn't been accredited for the past 11 to 12 years now. And one of the reasons is because our students aren't passing the standards of learning tests, which we unaffectionately call SOLs. Now, the SOLs, the passing score is not actually high. It's actually a 65. But the issue that many of our students are having are they're taking the test and it's not the same as what they're being given during the school year. And the reason behind that is because the test work they're being given are not being made by us or our district. They're being made by our Department of Education all the way on the other side of the state, which means a lot of the material they're seeing is not the material they've seen all year round. Now, that may seem different because aren't we teaching the subject that's being tested? This is true because I do teach U.S. history from exploration to 1865. Now, the tests that I'm giving my students are based off of how I'm teaching it and how I'm getting information to them. Now, the SOL is based off of the standards they created in 2008, not based off the material that I'm teaching them in a sense. And something I was reading in the chapter on how we learn on page 94 is that when we retest students, this is a form of restoring information, and it was by Roediger. And I understand that fully, but the issue now I'm having is if that's the case, why are we having these mass testing and teachers aren't being allowed to take the newer tests and show it to our students? Not maybe the exact same test they're going to be taking, but the test questions. Because what I've been asked to do is to create tests using SOL standards from 2002, 2006. These are tests that haven't been taken in almost 10 years now, but I'm going to have to use that to prepare my students for the final test at the end of the year. Now, that kind of seems redundant to me because it's not the actual information they're going to see. So the confusion that's going to come up is the fact that, okay, this is how the test was made in 2002. It is now 2017. How are we really going to expect that the tests are going to correlate in the same way? So it's been proven fact because even when we read the article, the article that talks about the different learning techniques, it even talks about how there has been numerous, and even more numerous studies, experiments, and things done about testing that have proven that the more you test, the better students are able to retain the information. Now, in the actual learning technique assignment, well, not the assignment, the reading, it talks about how practice testing is actually going to help students learn rather than just studying. Because what practice testing does, it gives your students what they would actually need to really focus on for the actual test. Now, that actually goes hand to hand with what we learned in How We Learn under page 95, where it talks about pretesting. And this pretesting and practice testing, they may be two different words. For me, seem to be the same exact thing. But even though we have all this research by the Bajorks, Karpiki and Roediger, why are school districts still only focusing on the major test and they're not giving us the materials and the ability to really mentally and properly prepare our students for the actual test? Because it's like, I'm not involved in making the test. 90% of my colleagues aren't involved in making the test. So when I give my practice test or my pre-test to try to prepare them for it, I cannot be sure if that test is going to even resemble what's going to be at the end of the year. So the question I'm really confused on is, if we know we've known for years that pre-testing and practice testing is going to influence and improve the test scores, why are we not doing so? And if some schools are doing so, why are we not giving more test materials to the teachers? Maybe not for the students to see, but allow the teachers to really know what we're teaching. Because I grew up in New Jersey, but I'm teaching in Virginia. I did not take the SOLs. So technically, I cannot say how I feel or how I felt when taking that test because I never took it. So I have a lot of questions I'm asking, but For my specific school district, I feel like something that would improve our scores would be the ability to give out practice tests or pre-tests that are extremely similar to the current SOL, not past SOLs or tests that have been taken years ago, because again, that is not putting us in the same situation to succeed as if we were getting the similar or the same SOL questions that will be put on the final end of the year test.